Hello, I'm Blinky Man. No, I'm joking, I'm Bonavoxel as always. I'm here to show you some improvements. I know it's a bit I don't post videos. I was not doing just this, I have other material work in progress. I just took a bit of a break and videos will be out soon. But this one is an improvement I made on my Nether tree farm. You see right there, you've seen in the last video about it. 3 weeks ago, and here to show you the 2.0 in which I made some improvements, and let's see what it's about. First thing first, big shout out for a guy I knew here on YouTube, Crimulus. Crimulus made some gorgeous designs of redstone you don't see anywhere else, like the filter for compostable items. I didn't use that in this build, but it's a thing which may turn useful, and it's his work, his idea, not from the Gotha of the technical Minecraft. I've seen also he has a more practical farm than this one, that relies more or less on the same concept. Mine is just more spectacular, and tends to be self-sustainable, to recycle bone meal, to recycle nether wart blocks into bone meal. But I think for practical use you might prefer his one. I borrowed from his one this clever use of the leaves, because even if what grows here are fungi, what they grow in the stem is wood by all means, and so the leaf block can detect when when a huge fungi is grown. And compared to my previous design, which relied on a hopper clock, and every cycle did the full cycle, like every time it was grow a huge fungi, which is not the case unfortunately, because when you spawn on this Nylium you don't always obtain a little mushroom to make a big fungi, but more often you obtain roots or other kind of products. Well, this one simply goes, as you see the piston, back and forward. When it's backed, the dispenser there behind, like in the previous model, dispenses the bone meal and grow the fungi eventually. Just when this time when the fungi is grown, and just in that case, this observer observes the thing and transmits power to this piston, which fires once the pistons above on the column you see there, which is important. I had to do like that. I couldn't connect directly this one to the repeater here, because it tends to fire 2 times the repeaters, one when the trunk is grown and one when is disposed by this piston. And if it happens not too quickly, but with the correct timing, which might happen, it's more or less random, it can mess up the sequence, the firing sequence of the piston. So with this mechanism, anytime a trunk is grown, this will send up one and one only signal up there, like it's supposed to be, and there is no a possibility that are sent 2 pulses instead of 1 for mistake, for casual timing of when that pistons fire and pushes forward the ground trunks. Well, after that we have clearly the switch, but the core of this system now is not more the little hopper clock, but is this pulse extender, that and only when a full trunk and full fungi is grown, it stops the otherwise working bone milling machine here beside better angle, and we see that when this circuit, this pulse extender deactivates, the 2 observers will face each other and start the fast clock, which will make fire the 2 dispenser, the 2 bone meal dispenser here, and the line which supplies them. And this here behind is another improvement I made. It's the clock for the piston, which is a standard circular clock with a torch in the corner, and yeah, it relies on the torch to self-reset. And I think it's all. I loaded up the whole machine with bone meal. It's stuffed like a turkey of bone meal, and when I start it, we will see a not time lapse because I will keep it at 1 per speed, at the real time speed, so you'll see the trees tend to grow a bit faster than the previous video if you have watched it. If you haven't, go check for it, because in the end there are some technical explanation of how the whole thing works, and also some cool time lapses of the machine working on the first part. I've made this in different setups. Like here there are 2 corners. I made one other square with 4 corners, and the giant one with 12 corners in the shape of a cross. What else? This is the machine. Let's light it up and let's see how it works, because as you see, the tree slicer, as I call it, it's spectacular. In case you're thinking of building it, you'll find always the Word download of this version 2.0 that is updated, and you have to think it like a Lamborghini, let's say. Okay, does it move? Is it fast? Yeah, it is. Is it cool? Yeah, it's very cool. But is it the fastest you can have? No, you should buy a Ferrari. Is it the cheapest you can have? Look at how many observers and pistons you have here. Is it the cheapest? No, you might better buy a Lotus, let's say. Okay, so it exists, it's a thing. I'll be glad to help you, like one guy asked me to give a help to anybody who wants to build it, so contact me, feel free here or on Twitter, better. But will not be my main choice if I have to do something effective with little resources. This is just something spectacular. Take a look. Good watching of the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and enjoy it. See ya!